And nigga, be real to yourself before you real with anybody else. Gang. What's the deal, man? It's y'all favorite hood partner, Big Neetha, aka Mama. There go that man. You understand me? All right, y'all. So listen, like I said, the rabbit hole just it's too many doors. It's no way you can figure out which direction you go in with all of this. Hold on, man. It's no way you will know which direction to go. It's too much stuff going on with this whole situation. Now, as I continue this journey down this rabbit hole, man, it make me sit back. It make me wonder, wait a minute. What was really happening? We're to the point where Tupac had to go. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm starting to look at it, I'm like, you got to realize Tupac had the #1 album in the world while he was in prison. Right or wrong? You understand? Do you understand? He was so hot at that time and making money hand over fist for Interscope. He was the hottest in the world. You see what I'm saying? If you want to look at the rock bands, Tupac was that in all. He was a one-man band. Tupac was one of the biggest. I mean, it was extraordinary how big he was in the 90s. It was unprecedented. You didn't have somebody that come from trials and tribulations like that and just blow. Every song Tupac put out was hitting it. See, when you look at Tupac's career, he scored like 6 top 10 singles within like the last 6 years. He was putting out bangers after bangers after bangers after bangers, right? So when we go back, we got to look at it like, damn, wait a minute, hold on. This man was locked up. He was in prison while his music was making tons of money. You see what I'm saying? Tupac wasn't even eating off that. He was in jail and nobody came to bail him out. Do you realize, just you got to see how he was treated. You got to understand, Tupac represented thug life. You see what I'm saying? Thug life was not just no criminal. That was the hate you give little infants, F anybody. You see what I'm saying? Thug life was not designed for people that had an idea that, oh, we're finna do genocide on our own people. You understand what I'm saying? You understand me? Listen, that was not what it was meant for. Yeah, you've seen people imitating go get thug life, but specifically, once again, it was the hate you give little infants, F anybody. You see what I'm saying? What Tupac believed in, listen, he had a political voice. You understand the assassination for Tupac? He had a political, man, hey, like Huey Newton and all them dudes over there. You see, y'all, if y'all know about Huey, y'all could kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. A lot of us don't even know the history of what I would say ancestors, what they did before us. Most people don't understand that. So let's go back to when Tupac was in jail. We go get to this reaction. As y'all seen the title, there is a witness that was trying to testify that Big Dre shot Tupac, right? Now, before we get in that, I want y'all to remember who is Yaki Gaddafi. Yaki Gaddafi was Tupac's not biological brother, but that was like his brother. That was his homeboy, his little homie. You see what I'm saying? He was also going to testify on who he saw pull an arm out the motherfucking window and start busting, right? Yaki Gaddafi was killed in New Jersey right before he was supposed to fly back out and go testify. I need everybody, when y'all get in here, hit the like button. You understand what I'm saying? Because when y'all get here, y'all know we go down this rabbit hole together. See what I'm saying? We don't got time for all that cherry picking and backbiting. If you ain't smelling what I'm selling, get up out of here. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, Tupac was he had a political voice. You see what I'm saying? What he did, what he accomplished, it was unprecedented. You got to understand the president at that time had stuff to say about Tupac. Mind you, he was in prison. with the #1 album of the year, of that year. You understand? While he was in prison, he was making buku money out here. You smelling what I'm saying? It was the way he was getting. It was they backdoored him. The label backdoored him. You understand what I'm saying? And we're talking about in the 90s, man. So when we looking at all of this, man, I want y'all to bust. I need y'all to understand that this is just commentary. I know I be getting, oh, man, you niggas sound like a detective. Oh, this nigga sound like a lawyer, man. Nah, listen, it's cold because I am a cold person. I am somebody that put myself in their shoes, and I will be able to, like, okay, I will move like this and I will move like that. That's all I'm doing. So anybody that feel like I'm on some detective shit, obviously your brain capacity can't comprehend exactly what this is. This is for the real and not for the fake. In Big Gene's voice, a real nigga will be considered fake on the internet, and a fake nigga will be considered real. So with that being said, let's jump into this reaction, baby. You know, I love talking about them 90s. You know what I'm saying? That, go to that little nigga was stealing out the liquor store. I mean, out the grocery store. You understand me? You walking in there holding auntie hand and shit, nigga. You go out of the candy store. You like, I'll be back, nigga. Nigga come on with a pocket full of candy and shit. Nigga, yeah, nigga, you remember that? Y'all remember that shit, man? All right, let's get into it, gang. Let's go. Shout out to the 100 people in here, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all know how we coming, gang. Let's get it. All right. Boom, 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 boom. And go.
I already said this. I said this in the gang of interviews. If some large corporation or if the world really wanted to see us come together, my offer is put a community center in every ghetto in the United States of America, fully funded, fully taken care of, and I'll tour every one of those community centers with Biggie and kiss him on his cheek and rap whatever they want me to rap. But until they do that, the war is on.
Boom. So what did that tell y'all? What do that tell you right there? So the East Coast, West Coast beef, look at Tupac was willing to compromise. He was willing to cease fire on this East Coast, West Coast war. So you got to understand what Pac's mission was. Pac was willing to say, hey, if y'all will fully fund a community center in every ghetto, I would tour there and go do my music. I would jump up and down. I would sing. I would do what you want me to do without getting compensated for it. You understand what I'm saying? See, when you look at what Pac represented, he didn't represent like the flashy shit. Yeah, it came with that. But he wanted to show people that, look, nigga, I come from the worstest conditions. I come from a poor household. I come from a poor family. I come from a mother who was a Black Panther that fell victim to the drugs in America. Also, I've been shot in the head. I've been incarcerated. And this is what I'm still doing with my life. If you can't see what his mission was, then some of y'all are just Ray Charles. You see what I'm saying? What Tupac represented was it was so up there to the point. It was, man, listen, man, let me make sure. Oh man, I don't even hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing that right, boy. Hold on, man. Let me make sure hey, man, hold on. Y'all give me 1 second, baby. 1 second. Man, I didn't even see the title up there, man. Yeah, man. I got the title up in there. You know what I'm saying? You know, people come up in here. All right, well, that's loading up, man. So, oh no, it's on. Okay, we got the title in there. You know what I'm saying? We got the thumbnail. Appreciate the super chat. Listen, so with Tupac, you got to look at it like this, right? Tupac wanted people to see the political voice that he addressed and expressed was looking at it like how we got money for war but can't feed the poor. You know, people were seeing what the impact that he created. His influence. You understand what I'm saying? You got to look at it like this, bro. When I say He was selling more records than anybody in the world at that time. And what he was doing by being having a political voice, you got to realize he never, man, look, Brenda had a baby. What he was doing is he was showing the cracks that was the flaws that was in America. We was over there sponsoring wars and feeding other countries, but we won't even feed our own people. You understand what I'm saying? So look at this. So this tells you right here, Tupac was willing to cease the fire between the East Coast and the West Coast. This was not personal to him. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he went through his trials and tribulations, but he said, look, I will be your monkey man. You understand me? And he said, look, I will kiss Biggie on his motherfucking cheek. Me and him will go do shows if y'all will fully fund a community center. This was a solution to stop the gang violence. He understood that. He's seen it. It's genocide. Listen, I don't know where a lot of y'all from, but where I'm from, a nigga will knock you down because of your fitted hat. You would die because of the fitted hat that you got on in a city where I'm from. Without a doubt. You understand? I'm from the mecca of gang culture. Now, it's gangsters all over the world. I don't need nobody saying, oh, nigga, I'm from Chicago. We been doing this, baby. You know, they say young blood. I know, but we're not doing all that right now. I understand. What I'm specifically addressing is where and it's probably like that everywhere, but where I come from, a nigga will knock your noodle over a fitted hat. And it's crazy because that nigga just might grew up in over there. His brother bang, but he don't. And the nigga see that nigga, oh, that nigga got that H hat. Hey, blow that nigga down. Hey, yo, what's up now, nigga? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, this is the Channel 7 News. A 13-year-old. And like, damn, that nigga was 13. That nigga look grown. Yeah, he ate all his cornbread and his green beans and his collard greens and the neck bone. And yeah, nigga was 13 looking like he was 17. Shit, nigga, I got a little cousin, nigga, that nigga is so motherfucking tall. Shout out to my little cousin, Little Sean. Little Sean, nigga, this nigga gotta be like 7 feet. I think he's 7'1". Realize 7'1". You understand me? 7'1". I come to his motherfucking knee. His knee, nigga. I be like, what's up, little cousin? He's like, what's up, little big cousin? That nigga got a squat to come in for a hug and shit. It's crazy. Shout out to Lil Sean, though. That's my little nigga, though. When I blow up, nigga, I'm gonna need you as my security guard, man. Nigga 7'1". Ain't nobody, nigga 7'1", nigga, he throw, get that. I got you, big cuzzo. Yeah, so let's get into this reaction, gang. Yeah, man. So I need y'all to understand what Tupac's mission was. Let's go.
There you go.
The death of Lassane Parish Crooks, or better yet, renamed by his mother, Tupac Shakur, after Tupac Amaru II, the leader of an Indian uprising in Peru. Pac had plans to squash the West Coast and East Coast beef that he had with Bad Boy Records, Biggie Smalls, and Puffy. But right after that Mike Tyson and Seldon fight at the MGM in Vegas, Tupac's life was cut short.
Do you know what's in your cheap protein powder? Well, here to tell us is all-natural fitness athlete Paul Sklar.
All right,
The events leading up to Tupac's death eventually will lead us up to the present time, what's going on with the arrested and charged suspect in the Tupac murder. According to court documents, Tupac and another man from the death row entourage spotted a Southside Crip inside the casino named Orlando Anderson. And he was all by himself, and Pac and his associate jumped on Mr. Anderson. More members from the death row crew joined in on the beating of Orlando Anderson, including CEO Suge Knight. Knight, Shakur, and others could be seen beating on Mr. Anderson until the fight was broken up by law enforcement. Keefe D, Southside Crip shot caller, wasn't going to let this slide. He was also the uncle of Anderson. And guess what? The Southside Crips planned on retaliating against Death Row right then and there. Keefe D was furious that Suge Knight, a man he grew up with and played Pop Warner football with, had the audacity to jump on his nephew. And he vowed get back against Knight and Pac and the Death Row crew. After the altercation at the casino with Orlando Anderson, the Death Row entourage and Tupac went over to Club 662, where they were supposed to perform later on that night. as scheduled. Keefe D shortly got word from some of his LA partners that Death Row and the Suge Knight crew were going to be at Club 662 performing, and they could definitely catch Tupac there. And this was the perfect opportunity to get retaliation for what was done to Orlando Anderson. The Las Vegas homies had 3 choppers on them, Keefe D said. They pulled up to 662 and they waited on Suge and Pac for almost an hour and a half, and they decided to leave the club because they didn't see Suge or Pac show up at Club 662. Keefe D said that he talked to an associate of Puff Daddy's while he was waiting at 662, and this associate named Zip told Davis to get in the car with him, and he handed him a Glock 40. And Zip allegedly told Davis, "It's time to get the money," referring to a murder for hire offer that Keefe D insisted that Puffy made on several different occasions. Keefe D said in interviews that he recalls Puffy would throw it up in the air every now and then when they would be just chilling and hanging out. By Keefe D's account, Zip, Combs, and himself discussed the hit on Shakur once at a concert in Anaheim and a couple of times at Greenblatt's Deli on the Sunset Strip. Keefe D says he was introduced to Sean Puffy Combs through Zip, who was a Crip as well, and Zip was in on the $1 million deal. However, Keefe D adds that he personally got on Combs' good side by lending him his car to use in Usher's first music video.
Y'all was at 662, Tupac and Suge Knight didn't show up. So that's when y'all decided to retaliate, and that's when y'all was like, okay.
We just left because they didn't show up.
Okay. Von Zip is the one that provided y'all with the gun, right?
I don't know nothing about that.
I mean, it's in the...
You see what I'm saying? This is why I say Keefe D, he's covered. Look, first of all, Keefe D lying. Keefe D is lying. He said it in his book, man. 1 minute his story changed, and then the other minute he'd double back, right? But mind you, you made the allegations that y'all didn't come out there with no guns. Y'all didn't come out there thinking y'all was gonna run into Tupac and all that. Y'all didn't bring no gun. First of all, y'all wasn't traveling like that cross line. Y'all niggas was having money. I was going to enjoy that fight. 1 minute you said you got the gun from because you had that meeting with Zip Martin. Zip Martin, he was like, oh, this is perfect time. You see what I'm saying? Because allegedly, y'all didn't see, if you look at the CCV TV, you never seen Keefe D at the MGM. You see what I'm saying? You seen Orlando, just like most people don't see. If you look at some of those footage, the old footage, you will see that Reggie White Sr. was there. And he made statements saying that, oh, I was at the house, which proves that he was there. If Reggie White was there, all of this shit blows up and shows that this shit was bigger than just some motherfucking gang fight between the South Side and a Mob Piru. So when y'all listening to a lot of Keefe D details, I mean his statements, you gotta be able to dissect the real from the fake. You know, he's covering. Obviously, he got paid. He got paid. He's in on it. Look, that proffer agreement, obviously, it was a statute of limitation on that proffer agreement. So, right? So they bringing him back to the drawing board. And now they're trying to, think about it. They not just go, look, why would they wait 3 decades and come back and grab this man? This man Ben wrote these books, the Compton Street Legend. He been doing interviews. So it's obviously it's new information that they have. Witnesses are coming together. You see what I'm saying? A lot of this shit that he said, he put in that book, a lot of that shit was true and some of that shit was false. You got to realize, we know Orlando Anderson did not shoot Tupac. You see what I'm saying? They would have arrested him. They would have found, first of all, the technology didn't exist really, so they had to go off of whatever they had at that time. But it was numerous of witnesses saying that it was a big arm that came out that window that was shooting. You understand what I'm saying? It was a couple people that seen that. People seen that shit. Yaki Gaddafi seen it. It's a lot of people. See, y'all got to realize that the day before Tupac went to that fight, you know, after doing his shows, he went home. You see what I'm saying? He went home to get his cousin, and he went to go get Quincy Jones' daughter, Kadati Jones. You see what I'm saying? Went to go get her. And they drove out there to Vegas. They didn't fly. They wasn't with Suge. A lot of people be telling these stories, but when you go back and you look, he was with his girl and his cousin because his cousin had the same birthday as him, right? But let's pay attention to the detail how Keefe D be lying. Let's get it.
In the book and everything, yeah.
I don't know nothing about that.
But just say how it came about, where Von Zip provided you and your crew with the gun.
No, he just asked, do we need some help? And shit, he came up with the thing. That's all. He had a thing on him. We already had things too, though.
After meeting up and getting the alleged murder weapon from Eric Von Zip, who was also a Crip, first they want to stop at the liquor store. Keefe said as they were headed back to the hotel to go kick it and chill and smoke a little bit, that's when they seen the black BMW with the rims on it. And Tupac was hanging out the window and women were screaming his name. Tupac, Tupac. Keefe said once they noticed that it was Tupac, they turned around and started pursuing the black BMW.
When we left, we was in 3 cars, matter of fact. And the other 2 cars missed the light. So we kept on going, heading towards the hotel. When we got to Flamingo, that's when dude was hanging out. He was like he was in a parade or something. Stupid ass. So hanging out the window. He was like, Tupac! And we like, oh, there go that motherfucker. We popped a Yui. And that was it.
Keefe D rides shotgun while Terrence Brown is the driver. Orlando Anderson is behind.
Now, understand, Terrence Brown. See, a lot of people don't talk about Terrence Brown. Now, Terrence Brown was in the car. Allegedly, he was the driver. And through the midst of this, it's crazy because the car that they got, that Cadillac that they was in, because listen, Keefe D lied and said, he didn't lie. He said Terrence Brown was the driver. Terrence Brown did not say, he said he wasn't even here. Keefe D snitched on Terrence Brown. You understand how cold this shit is? The nigga, think about it. Why would you even, look, first of all, they did the report. They seen where the car was rented to, right? Terrence Brown said he wasn't there, right? Blase, blase. But the car was rented in Terrence Brown, either auntie or stepmother's name. And that's how they was able to put Terrence Brown in Vegas when he made a statement saying that he was not there. So that means Keefe D was telling on motherfuckers. Now, I understand this, right? Nigga, you foul. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to hold it down. But this is where I see where Keefe D went wrong. Why he turned rogue. He turned rogue because niggas started telling on him and he couldn't stomach all these people turning on this nigga. You got to realize when you the top dog, you're the first one to go when the shit goes down. When shit hit the fan, yeah, nigga, hey, the leader has to sacrifice himself in those situations because all these pawns that you got working for you, they're not going to step up and let you live your luxury life when you giving these motherfuckers kibbles and bits. It doesn't work like that. So you got to realize Terrence Brown was trying to stay out of it. He said he wasn't there. Keefe D put him on the scene, placed him at the scene, and that's how he got Terrence Brown caught up in this whole situation. Let's get it.
Behind Keefe, and DeAndre Smith is behind the driver. And they pull up on Pac's side, and down comes that left back window where DeAndre Smith is sitting, and a pistol is pointing out of it at Tupac and Suge Knight. Keefe D, former Compton kingpin, said right before the shooting happened that him and childhood friend Suge Knight locked eyes on each other. Keefe D would go on to brag that he gave the .40 caliber weapon to his nephew, Orlando Anderson, who Tupac and Death Row had just jumped on hours before at the MGM Grand after the Mike Tyson fight. After locking eyes with Suge, Tupac made an erratic move and began to reach down beneath his seat, Davis writes in his book. It was the first and only time in my life that I could relate to the police command. Keep your hands where I can see them. Instead, Pac pulled out a strap, and that's when the fireworks started. One of my guys from the back seat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. and the cold-blooded killers fled the scene and abandoned the vehicle before fleeing on foot. On the famed Las Vegas Strip, as ambulances carrying Tupac and Suge raced to Vegas University Medical Center. The Glock was stashed inside the wheel of the abandoned vehicle minutes after the killing. When Keefe D and his entourage went to collect the car the next day to return to Los Angeles.
Man, come on, man. You see how I say when you go down this rabbit hole? Now, it doesn't take a rocket science. Why would you leave the weapon that killed Tupac in the same car? Why would you not get rid of that before anything? You see what I'm saying? It's Vegas. You can easily it's 10, 15 minutes to drive somewhere in the dirt, somewhere, and bury that motherfucker deep down. That's why I say it's this whole Tupac this is finna be going on for a while because it's so much shit that people trying to find out what really happened to Tupac. Once again, Tupac was the biggest artist in the world at that time. We're talking about Rolling Stone and all that. They called Tupac the Black Jesus. You understand how crucial that is for one man to be called Black Jesus? He was the neighborhood hero. You see what I'm saying? On top of that, he was from the East Coast. He came to the West Coast, adapted to the West Coast culture, and represented something that nobody ever heard of. Thug life. On top of that, he claiming MOB and all that good shit. Okay, cool, whatever. But when we talk about thug life, for those that's coming in here, welcome to the channel. For the older, I don't really know yet. I know y'all been checking me out now, for a while. Hit that like button if you love your mama. But thug life, the hate you give little infants fucks everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So what are we saying with that? The hate that we give little infants. So the coming outside. You see what I'm saying? You seeing a black man beat up a woman at the light. He's gonna grow up to think that that's what it is. I know I grew up like that. I grew up not having. Look, I'm not the dude that hold hands and kick cans. I am not the type of person you would never find a woman who ever talked to me, dated me, anybody say, "Oh, I know that nigga. He like to hold hands and French kiss." I remember one time a female tried to put her lips on. Man, get that shit out of here, man. What kind of niggas you fucking with? Say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Yeah, you understand me? Bitch, you eat chitlins. And you turn, what you want to put your tongue in my mouth? Yeah, man, your throat stink. We know your throat stink. Bitch, you eat chitlins, man. We don't. And somebody over there like, hold on, Jive Turkey. My mama made chitlins for Thanksgiving last year, nigga. Listen, your throat stank. You understand me? But at the same time, the hate you give infants F everybody. So when you're seeing black on black violence, you're creating a kid's mind is like a computer. It is recording data. You understand what I'm saying? So when that little kid grow up, he's going to grow up and figure like, shit, I seen my brother do it to people, and that's how he got respect. And that's just what it is. We grew up in a time where violence was predominantly the answer to everything. Once again, we grew up in an era where violence was the answer to everything. We wasn't being rational. We wasn't talking. Hey, let's have a beer and talk about it. Get your bitch ass up out of here, nigga. Bring that little weak ass. You had to be hard in the 90s. You had to be tough. You see what I'm saying? Like RTD. Y'all remember rough, tough, and dangerous. You understand me? Listen, you had to be with it. If you was not with it in the 90s, you was getting ran over. Listen, it was real men back then. You understand me? Yeah, man will open up the door for the woman and all that shit. But you got women that playing motherfucking victims and having pity parties, and you got a little gangster nigga out here now and then. You like, oh, what's wrong? What I do? And all that shit. Trying to see what's wrong with her. At the end of the day, you got more men out here fighting for a fucking woman who already turned off because you're projecting feminine energy. That's why a lot of these niggas be out here, oh, my bitch, no, man, she leave me, I'm gonna beat her ass up. That is feminine energy. Anytime you so caught up in a woman where you feel like you need to force her or convince her she will not find nobody else but you, you're projecting feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to hear some of that good Nina Boy game now, hit me in the DMs, man. Like, man, I want you to talk about this, man, and throw something on the super chat. We might make that happen. But with that being said, let's get back to this reaction, gang. Y'all know I'm a fool with it, man. Let's go.
Los Angeles, the gun was mysteriously nowhere to be found. He and his crew drove the Cadillac back to Compton, where after body shop work, they returned it to a rental company, and Keefe said Tupac chose the wrong niggas to play with, and Suge and his crew should have protected him better.
These are the top 5 questions I get asked about shooting and editing cinematic videos with a smartphone.
In a remarkable turn of events, Keefe delivered the stunning blow-by-blow account, or Another Day at the Office, as he described it, in his self-published tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, published in 2019. It is one of 5 different confessions the one-time Crip shot caller has made public today. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department executed a search warrant on Keefe on July 17, representing a dramatic escalation in the case thought to have gone cold. According to a copy of the warrant, the authorities collected a desktop computer, a laptop, a cell phone, a hard drive, 11 .40 caliber bullets, tubs full of photos, 40 ink cartridges, and a copy of the book, among other items. Here for the first time outside of that book is Keefe extraordinary confessions of what led to the bloody death of Tupac, a chapter and verse account of the crime that shook the hip-hop world and could now set the case for these criminal charges that Keefe is now facing after 27 years.
What was Tupac and Suge's reaction when Orlando started shooting up the billboard? Tupac, you said he was trying to reach for a gun, or it looked like he was trying to reach for a gun.
Yeah. Looked like he was trying to get his thing. That's what it looked like.
And you said Tupac tried to jump in the backseat.
It looked like he was
when y'all started shooting.
He was reaching. It looked like he was trying to.
That's where y'all, you see how he be lying? Now, y'all remember, if y'all go back to some of his other interviews, he said Suge tried to jump in the back seat. Suge was scared. Mind you, Suge got hit as well. But this is where it gets a little Mickey and a little bit confusing, because there's evidence to show that he was hit with a 4.5. You see what I'm saying? And Tupac was hit with a 40 caliber. This is alleged at this point. Now, Suge got grazed in the head and he got hit in the stomach. You see what that? So was it 2 shooters? Was it 2 shooters? That's the $1 million question where I'm at with it, because I'm looking at all of this stuff that's taking place. First of all, Keefe already you done sold your soul, partner. You see what I'm saying? Listen, I wouldn't be surprised, man. What you did to what Keefe did to Terrence Brown could have easily not even been in that shit. Everybody didn't want that type of shit on their jacket and all that shit, nigga. That's dangerous. You got to understand, when people allegedly said Orlando Anderson killed Tupac, that put a target on his back. Once again, Tupac was considered Black Jesus. He was somebody, he was the biggest rapper in the world. You see, on top of that, when we go back to before he got to death row, he had the #1 album while he was in prison. You understand? Who you know have a #1 album that's in prison? Only person I could think of that ever accomplished that was fucking YoungBoy. You see what I'm saying? And that little nigga probably wasn't even in jail longer than Tupac at that time. Tupac was in prison with the #1 album. You understand me? And nobody wouldn't come bail him out. Why isn't Interscope with the #1 album in the world? Why wouldn't your record label come bail you out of jail? You see what they did for NBA YoungBoy? Shit, they wasn't letting that nigga go. That nigga, he's a money machine. They wanted him done. They already finished that album. They was willing to let that nigga, think about it. If Suge Knight never went and got Tupac and paid $3 million in cash and get him out of his contract, bail him out and all this good shit, Tupac would have been in prison. And he probably would have still been alive. Be honest. Let's be clear. You see what I'm saying? But you got to look at it like this, man. With all of this shit, after we done, I got to start looking at Frank. Frank was recording everybody. He was fearful of his life. When you got to realize, at this point in time, Reggie White Jr. he turned. He went from being a police officer, law enforcement, and with the power that Suge gave him and running security detail, traveling, flying across the world, fucking random bitches, making more money than you ever made in your life, that nigga turned gangster. Yes, Reggie White went rogue. He went from being an officer and turned gangster. You understand me? To the point where that nigga was out here making hits, putting hits out on niggas. You see what I'm saying? Threatening niggas. Clearly, the nigga, you know what I'm saying, must have showed what he with, because he was intimidating niggas. You look at Reggie White Jr. now, she that nigga got a health problem. That nigga, he sleep with his mouth open. You see what I'm saying? Like real shit. You can tell. You see what I'm saying? So with Keefe D lying and shit, that's why I say you gotta hear every statement, man, because you'll be able to weed out the bullshit, man. But let's be clear. Make no mistake about it. Keefe D snitched on Terrence Brown. You put that boy at the scene when they wasn't even on him. You told everybody that he did that. You was covering for Dre. I don't know what it is, but you sacrificed your nephew to cover for Dre. I don't know. Right now, it kind of seemed like it would make sense, but it's still not really. It's like, okay, boom. You know Dre didn't do it. Sometimes, nigga, when you didn't do it, you still go to jail. It was a risk. It was very risky. Why would you risk your nephew for somebody else? What did Dre have that, you know what I'm saying, that you was trying to keep away? Maybe I figured, they would never be able to catch. They don't have enough evidence to pin it on Orlando Anderson. But just by giving him, boom, I'm pretty sure he had to get compensated for that shit. On top of that, Suge paid that boy $60,000 to go to court and say that he did not help stump that nigga head in. So when y'all look at this, bro, you got to understand, going down this rabbit hole, Pandora's box is to the left and on the right and on the other side. And you going to see all of this other shit. This shit is crazy, man. So try not to take everything Keefe D say as facts. Let's get it.
Trying to jump in the back seat or something. He was like breakdancing or some shit.
Breakdancing. Get the fuck out of here.
Suge just ducked his head. And the first bullet went in his head. And the next one's hit him. It was like he was doing a breakdance trying to jump in the back seat or something. Yeah. Like, damn. Yeah, what the fuck? It looked like he was trying to jump in the, but it was bullets was in his ass.
Reggie White Jr., how do you feel about him saying that the only reason why you're saying that Tupac was trying to reach for a gun is just in case if they ever come to you and try to blame you for the the shooting, you could say it was self-defense?
Is that what he's trying to say?
Yeah, he said that on Goliath TV before.
Yeah.
After the murder of Tupac, Keefe D said he recalled checking in at the Caesars Palace Resort and Casino around 5 p.m. He said, we laid back, popped a few bottles, went down to the casino and started gambling big before the rest of his crew of Crips arrived in town. While Baby Lane would ultimately pull the trigger on Tupac, Keefe D described his nephew as a good dude with a big heart.
You said in the book, at this point in my life, I can say that I have a deep sense of remorse for what happened to Tupac. I know that pain too well. However, I stand firm on the point that Tupac, Suge Knight, and the rest of those dudes didn't have any business putting their hands on my beloved nephew, Baby Lane, period. Then jumping on my nephew gave us the ultimate green light to do something to their ass.
Exactly.
After Tupac was shot, the New Yorkers went home and told Puffy's bodyguard, Eugene Deal, exactly what had happened in Las Vegas. In his police interview, he got all the details right.
Daddy and some other people I know from New York, they were in Vegas the night Pac got killed. You know what I'm saying? They're around the same crib that rolled with us to Vegas that time. Mm-hmm. And Pac seen them. Mm-hmm. And Pac stepped to them and said, those are those mark-ass niggas that be fucking with them niggas from New York. That's what was said.
Now, were you there for this?
No, I wasn't there for this.
You were told it.
I was told. That's why I say it was strictly hearsay. And one of the kids had ripped off one of Pac's friends, a long time ago or something like that. Like I said, this fight group broke out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that incident happened. And one of the kids called his uncle, who was a head, one of the head guys in Compton and stuff like that. And then next thing you know, Pop gets shot up.
Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Puff Daddy, said he seen $1 million check on Zip, but he couldn't confirm if Puff Daddy gave it to Zip or not. He just know that Zip said it came from a record company.
Zip had a check in his right back pocket, and that check was for $1 million. He said he got Jimmy Henchman got him the check from Barry Hankerson or something like that. Barry Hankerson, I think, there was a Aaliyah uncle or manager or something like that, gave him that check for Black Ground Records. That's what he said. Follow the paper.
Well, ultimately, Keefe D and them never got the check, which in the grand scheme of things probably worked out best if Puff actually did write a check for that, because otherwise you'd be connected to that situation.
Right. You understand? Listen. So for y'all to understand, you got to look at who Eric Zip Martin is. Eric Zip Martin was a protege of Frank Lucas. You see what I'm saying? This was a dope dealer, underboss at that time, who graduated to become the king of Harlem. You see, you got to realize Eric Zip Martin was a dope dealer. You see what I'm saying? This nigga was moving Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown all through New York, all through Harlem, New York. I'm talking about the nigga had that Bobby Brown, nigga had that Whitney Houston, and the nigga was a baby kingpin out there. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Jimmy Henchman helped him get a check. Okay, Aaliyah. Okay, his label was I guess they had Aaliyah under contract, right? Okay, cool. So you mean to tell me why would you go floss that shit around? $1 million check? Come on, I got $1 million. Come on, bro. Nigga, listen. That don't add up to me. You see what I'm saying? This is exactly right around that time Diddy was going through this East Coast, West Coast beef. You got to realize that Biggie is, even in interviews, he stated himself. He said that Hit 'Em Up record, he knew somebody was going to die. So that's why he was trying to weave that shit out and say, oh, you know, we're not going to do nothing, Playboy. We just go ignore it. Come on, bro. It's already been confirmed. I spoke to Gene Deal myself. He also knows somebody else who can confirm that Diddy knew that. He said, nigga, hey, if Biggie had to go, he had to go. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was willing to let motherfuckers die. And I have to believe that most artists are more valuable dead than they are alive. For what? Most of the time when you deal with record deals, record labels, they give you an advance up front. They give you money. You see what I'm saying? So you can get the shit you need to get to proceed and go ahead and make them some money on. That's why they get life insurance on you. Don't think for 1 minute. A lot of these artists, you go, oh, I signed for $500,000. Oh, okay, cool. But then you still in the streets, my nigga, and you get your ass knocked, and then you see that they made motherfucking $2.8 million off of you. That's because they put an insurance policy in place for you. And that's why I say people don't understand. Suge had a life insurance on Tupac. Puffy had a life insurance on Biggie. These dudes cashed out the money that they made off of their death on life insurance within itself. Man, it's too much. Not to mention, both of these artists died with albums that were still running. Biggie's album wasn't released until after he died. You want on top of that? Listen, Puffy made his career based off of Biggie. Suge Knight made his career based off of Tupac. Don't get me wrong. You had Snoop and the LBC. You had Dre. You know what I'm saying? You had the Dog Pound. You understand me? You had some things booming. Okay, cool. But let's be clear. We're talking about Tupac. The dude, when I say I need people to comprehend, right? I know a lot of people don't know the record industry and all that. We're saying, look, Tupac had 10. No. Look, he scored 6. My bad, 6. He had 6 top 10 singles. 6 at that time. Right now, some of the biggest artists, like Rihanna, and all them people that hit big like that, they wasn't having 6 singles at the top at the top 10. Not the top 50 and all that shit. Now, top 100. We're talking about Tupac had 6 singles at the top 10. You know how humongous that is? Do you know how big that is for an artist? You got to realize predominantly every song Tupac wrote, nigga, was a fucking hit. You hit him up? Oh my God. Oh man, look. All eyes on me, nigga. That shit, man. Man, listen. He's in a book of records for having longevity records. His music still is alive to this day. Still to this day, people use his music as reference, as a poet. You understand how he was a threat to America? Like, remember I was talking about Huey Newton. They killed Huey Newton because why? He had a political voice. Any Black Panther that was having these rallies and these meetings that had a political voice that can actually be an impression on their community and have power by their words, we know words is powerful. We can identify the fact, listen, this is how you know it's so serious, because think about it. Once again, I stated this the other day. Why isn't it that we can talk about killing each other all day long on these records? We can talk about calling niggas busters, weenies, and that nigga Mark, he's scared to shoot. Fuck that bitch ass nigga. I'ma fuck that nigga mama. Oh, I nutted on this bitch face. Oh, that bitch pussy stank. And all of this shit. We can do all of that on records. Talk about, yeah, I'm gonna beat that bitch. You can talk about domestic violence on records. But you actually do it, you're going to jail. But if you rapping about it, it is totally fine. But let you talk about hurting a motherfucking dog. Let you talk about you go bitch slap that little cat when you come on. Your cat then meow, meow, all on your motherfucking curtains and pissed and drop some little cat turds and dookie on your motherfucking, on your little white couch and shit. You go, I'm gonna beat that. Man, you going to jail. Cruelty to animals. You get on a record and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck that pretty female zebra in her motherfucking womb. I'm gonna make that zebra have some zebra babies. I promise you there will be repercussions behind what you say in regards of animals. And that's why you gotta look at what's going on in society. We're living in a society where if we're not boasting about knocking another race, our same race down, killing somebody of our own, we're a buster because we ain't kill that nigga. That nigga had on a red rag, or he had on an orange rag. Oh, you didn't kill him because he had a blue rag. Oh, you a mark. You a buster. Oh, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, look at all of this that's been put out here, bro. It's too much of this shit. It's too much, bro. Tupac had a political voice, and with his impact and his influence, they figured he can control the minds of people. In this country, anybody that have that type of power will be assassinated. Make no doubt about it. If you have the power to control multiple people's minds, you will go down. I don't care what it is. You got to look at it from a point of view of they control the radio stations, entertainment, the banking system. Most of us want to turn a blind eye. Tupac was vocal about it. You see what I'm saying? And people tried to put him in a bad light because of the power and the impact and the influence that he had on his community. Brenda had a baby. I use it as a reference every time I go live. This wasn't something that Tupac just came up out of his motherfucking mind. It was an actual story about it that nobody showed any effort or gave a fuck about. Until he made a song about it and did a video, look what happened. The president was this is totally out of context. This is disrespectful. We do not condone this type of music in this country. But we got food that's giving people cancer, and we making millions of dollars at pharmaceuticals and having lotions and all these products, all this shit y'all be bragging about that's going to probably hurt you in the long run. It's totally fine. But once you have somebody like Tupac that can articulate his words and paint a picture like Picasso and have multiple people. You know when it came a problem when he just didn't have just control over the African-American community. It was rich people from the suburbs saying thug life, yeah, West Side for life. It was something about Tupac God put inside him. And he had a power that didn't have no ethnicity. It didn't have no color. It didn't have no creed. It had a voice that was loud. It was so big to the point where even, you got to realize, it's been going on for years. everybody have their own identity with their fingerprint. Every last one of us have our own fingerprint. Every last one of us have our own heart. And that's why I tell people all the time, you got to stop thinking with your heart because you will get further using your mind. Majority of people, they think with their heart. Everything that starts with a communication or a reaction, it's a reaction from the heart. The moment you stop using your heart to react, to speak, and think before you speak, that's why I told myself I would never just fuck with anybody that would just blatantly just speak whatever. They don't even think before they speak. Motherfucker would just want to go back to their regular and say, oh, no, fuck that. You ain't even comprehending what this person said. This person could either change your life or motherfucker get you caught up and you won't even see it because people react from their hearts. With that being said, man, let's get to this reaction. I hope y'all entertained with this reaction. Y'all know I really take time to really do these reactions. Now, this is an OG Jacario video. Disclaimer, just putting it out there, but I do commentary. So I thank y'all for watching, man, and let's bust this shit down, man. Let's get it. And hit the subscribe button if you love your mama. Y'all, I really grind I stayed up till like 2:30 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? And I still get up and meditate and do what I do, man. So a lot of work going to my commentation and, you know, research and all that shit, man. So support the channel. Let's go.
So, you know, Eric Von Zip keeping the money kind of shielded everyone from the situation in its own
so he's a savior
type of way. Yeah, in a way. In a
he's
way.
a savior.
After the Vegas incident, right? You met up with Von Zip in LA, right?
Yeah, Hot Wings, LA Hot Wings. Because I lost the Anakin in third.
So tell me about that. How that came about and what was said. Because Puffy called too, right?
Yeah, him and Biggie's wife. What's her name?
Faith Evans?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Them two calls and everything.
He just asked, was that us?
Who said that?
Puffy did. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, Zip told him, yeah.
What about Faith? What did she say when she called?
That's who they was mostly communicating with. That's who Zip was communicating with. I told Zip, after Reggie and them raided our houses, Big Reggie and them raided our houses, took our guns and shit. I told what's her name, Zip, that we needed some fucking guns. Get us like $10,000. And everybody took that shit and took it to the moon, blew that shit up, buffalo us $1 million. You know what I'm saying? That's how that started. The FBI said
so the FBI told you
he was a dirty motherfucker, yeah.
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well.
They said Zip's a dirty motherfucker. Everybody crossed you.
Now it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah. Check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother.
Keefe D was quoted as saying, we couldn't let no record company studio gangsters do us like that. Had they lost their fucking rapping ass minds? On top of that, Puffy had already talked to him about helping him out with the problem he was having with them niggas. That was a double whammy. Then you add on top of that the fact that we helped Suge with the money to get his record company business going, and the niggas gonna bite the hand that fed him. Add insult to the injury because Suge still hasn't paid Boss Man his money back. Got too big for his britches and stopped taking Boss Man's calls. Strike 3, honey. You're out. A former FBI agent that was on the case.
See, you got to appreciate the new membership. Yes, sir. Yeah. Keep a small circle. Yeah, appreciate you. Look, so y'all got to understand. We cannot denounce what Suge Knight was. Suge Knight he's an icon at this point. Suge Knight is a senior citizen now. You see what I'm saying? A senior citizen who is trying to get up out of that situation. I promise y'all, Faith Evans better lawyer up. But I know a lot of y'all that said, oh man, we know Suge Knight ain't go snitch, man. He too gangster, he too solid. Suge Knight is not a gangster, homie. He is an older man. You cannot say, oh man, think about it. Suge Knight have health issues. He barely can see. You understand what I'm saying? Suge Knight is not finna get out of jail and go do no gangster shit. Suge Knight is not fighting nobody at his fucking age. Suge Knight is on a PCR. You understand that? He's in protective custody. You see what I'm saying? So his name is not, he's for the gangster shit. Don't nobody give a think about it. Suge Knight is not walking on main line in the penitentiary right now. This is why I say, don't be surprised if he's only using that, oh, I ain't gonna do no snitching so he can get the attention of them people so he can get up out of jail. Because the last person to see the shooter that's alive allegedly is Suge Knight. You see what I'm saying? The shooters ain't coming up front. You know what I'm saying? As they should. Keep your motherfucking mouth closed and let the police do their job. Yes, listen, I'm only a commentator. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't believe in snitching and none of that shit. I'm just saying, nigga, let the police do their motherfucking job. You know what I'm saying? This is just commentary. This is commentary. You understand me? But let's be clear. I do believe if they offered Suge Knight a deal, he would take it. You got to realize Suge Knight left kids behind. He got grandbabies. His daughter, 20-something years old. You see what I'm saying? And all that shit. I know he worried like, yeah, man, what if one of my enemies, motherfucking sons or nephew over there fucking on my daughter? Yeah, nigga, that nigga over there raw dogging my daughter and shit. Yeah, hell no. You understand me? His family is at risk. It's in the open. He's been sacrificed. Ain't nobody gonna touch Suge Knight's kids and family. You never know. Suge Knight hurt a lot of people. Suge Knight bullied a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays, in today's society, it's not about that. It's nigga, if they catch you and your mama, a nigga will knock you and your mama down coming out the grocery store. Back in the 90s, niggas would see you with your grandmother coming out of church, you had a pass. Niggas was not, niggas was still, kicking candles and doing some little grimy shit, but it was a code that was respected. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, we're living in a society where a young nigga be like, hey, big homie, we don't play by that same playbook you play by. We don't play by them codes no more. We don't, them rules and shit is old, nigga. We done revise these rules and shit, nigga. We catch that nigga, we go get that nigga where his mama stay. Yeah, nigga, we go jump out, nigga, run in that house, blow him down. If his mama try to stop, we go blow her motherfucking wig off her motherfucking head. Yes, I'm talking about, these young niggas will get out here, nigga, and nigga, and see, you lucky, nigga, back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? You know, grandma wig used to be crooked and shit. You know what I'm saying? Grandma wig used to be sideways and shit. She's like, baby, come here. Put the little things in there and shit. She trying to straighten it and shit. She going to church and she dragging and, she drunk a little shot of E&J. You remember grandma she had that little liquor breath, but she had the peppermints in there and shit. And God been good to me. Talk about God being good. Nigga, she been yelling at us since 7 o'clock this morning. Hey, Keon, bro, don't you bring your little stanky ass down here, man. I'm tired. Did you brush your teeth? Did you brush your little stinky motherfucker? Hurry up. We got to go to church. Be all that shit. Pop me on the back of your head and shit. Or, y'all remember, nigga, grandma, back in the 90s, you go to church with grandma and shit, you be like, man, it's boring in here. You couldn't go to kids' church. Nigga be in church like this. Nigga, grandma, nigga, and her girlfriend, right? Look at your grandson. Oh, I'm gonna fuck this nigga off. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck. Felt that little sting in the back of the neck. Remember, especially when you get your hair cut and shit, and mother put that little alcohol and shit. Or don't let her put. Remember when they used to put the Vaseline on your motherfucking face and shit, the whole face and shit. And sometimes motherfucker lick their motherfucking tongue and try to do all of this shit. Now nigga eyebrow stink. You know what I'm saying? You get like, yo, nigga think your breath stink. It's your grandma breath on your eyebrows and shit. You understand me? Hey, I know I ain't the only nigga that had some good time in the 90s, man. You understand me? Yeah, I love the 90s. Because why? Man, I ain't gonna lie. I done probably finger bang half of these little bitches out here. You understand me? Yeah, they probably married and fucking it. I used to be like, All right, let's get back to this live, man. Told you I'm a fool, man. All right, let's go.
Greg Kading recalled that Keefe D confessed to his involvement in the Tupac Shakur case. He gave full details on how him and his co-conspirators killed Tupac. Kading recalled in an interview. Davis, who had immunity for what he said in his police interview, but not what he said outside it, went on to divulge many of the same details in documentaries, on podcasts, and in a tell-all 2019 memoir that will give new life to the Las Vegas police probe and helped lead to his grand jury indictment.
I wish I would have had this when I was still working the road. This is a flexible armor.
And Caden said this: he has essentially talked himself right into jail, talking about Keefe D. New testimony reveals new information, and the grand jury transcript points to a different gunman in Tupac's murder case. Keefe D swore up and down that Orlando Anderson, his nephew, shot Tupac. Check this out, though.
But first, what we think we knew about the murder of Tupac Shakur might not be true at all, according to grand jury transcripts obtained by Channel 13, which indicate that it may not have been gangster Orlando Anderson who fired on the BMW Shakur was riding in back in 1996. Our Brian Horwath has the new developments.
According to testimony offered to a Clark County grand jury, it's possible that someone other than Orlando Anderson shot rapper Tupac Shakur on September 7, 1996. Grand jury documents reveal a gang associate of Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a member of the Southside Compton, California Crips gang, testified that Anderson was not the trigger man. Instead, he says it was another member of the gang, DeAndre Big Dre Smith, who fired the fatal shots that led to the eventual death of Shakur. Denvonta Lee told the grand jury the reason for the shooting was revenge for a beating suffered by Anderson on September 6th at the MGM Grand.
Members of Death Row Records spotted Orlando Anderson near an elevator bank inside the MGM, and at that time they began to kick and punch him.
Death Row Records, Shakur's record label back then, employed some Mob Piru Bloods gang members for security purposes, and Mob Piru didn't get along with the Southside Compton Crips, and their MGM encounter set the stage for what happened to Tupac.
Little did anyone know that it is this incident right here that would ultimately lead to the retaliatory shooting and death of Tupac Shakur.
Though the favored theory has long held that Anderson fired the shots, Lee, a self-described affiliate of the Southside Crips, testified it was Smith blasting from the back seat of the Cadillac. Lee testified that it was about retribution and that Anderson, quote, wasn't coming back to Compton without nothing being done, unquote. Lee says Davis decided on the get-even plan and was the one who passed the firearm to Anderson. But
you see why now y'all understand why, you know, a lot of people saying, oh man, they gonna let Keefe D out of jail. No, they not. You know they not. You gotta realize he was able to get out of jail and take that proper agreement on the circumstances and the evidence that he revealed to what they needed to know. You understand that? So now that you gotta realize that proper agreement is probably a statute of limitation on that motherfucker, right? As they go through litigation and all that type of shit, you're going to see exactly why he's now. Look, first of all, you said you gave the gun to Orlando Anderson, your nephew. Now you lied about that. You see what I'm saying? Now they could recounter on whatever that profit agreement was. You see what I'm saying? I don't know that. But right now, he's looking for a lawyer. He has to lawyer up. He can't play with no public defender. You see what I'm saying? They already have new evidence to refile. That's why we're here now. You see what I'm saying? So going through litigation and all that shit, they have substantial evidence to hold him on something. You see what I'm saying? And I do think he's just a decoy. I think he's a decoy because they have somebody way bigger. You can't go after somebody like Puffy without having stone cold evidence. You see what I'm saying? This nigga is broke at this point. So I'm pretty sure Puffy is scared. That's why he's getting rid of evidence. He's giving publishing back. Look. Whatever Puffy is going through right now, he stated on numerous. He said, "I'm going through something that money can't buy." You understand that? Now I don't know if he's fighting with the devil between people talking about him and his butt plugs and all that type of stuff. But right now, even Puffy is going through something. You see what I'm saying? Now Keefe D is sitting in jail, and they know that he was lying this whole time. You see what I'm saying? Not only the fact that you said that you gave the gun to Orlando Anderson and shit, and you still didn't do no time behind this shit. Now they find out it was the actual person. Now they know who actually, possibly, allegedly, at this point, who could have killed Tupac. And so that means, so you didn't give the gun to Orlando Anderson. You gave the gun to You see what I'm saying? So this is probably why they're going to be able to hold this man for a very long time. They can hold him in jail as long as this case. Now, we know that most of the time niggas be in jail, in a county jail for years. So even if they, listen, he's probably going to be sitting in there a good 5-some years in the county. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get no conviction right out. You see what I'm saying? Now, we talking about Vegas now. This is the number one entertainment attraction city in the world, in the country, in the United States. I don't want to say the world. I ain't never been to Dubai, man. But in the country. You see what I'm saying? They have a Sphere that costs $2.5 billion. They just built another casino for $2.8 billion. You see what I'm saying? But we have homeless people in every city. You understand what I'm saying? Everywhere we go. It's funny how we have. Hold on, I don't want to be on no political now. I don't know. You come looking at this channel now. Let me slow down. Like, show you right. Nina. And all the motherfuckers be over here subscribing and shit. And they be coming knocking that nigga door. We heard what you said, man. So let's double back. Let's focus on Cub, right? You have to realize that proffer agreement had to have some type of expiration date on it. And with that being said, they probably waited till that proffer agreement expired because they're still wasting taxpayers' money because, first of all, Tupac's murder have not been solved. It's an open case. It's still open, which means that it's money going into that because it takes time and pulling resources to still search and see who actually killed Tupac. And this has been going on for 3 decades. They tired of keep putting money into this shit. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, they gotta close this book. Somebody's gonna be the downfall man in this situation, gang. So yeah, I pay attention, man. This rabbit hole go deep. Let's go.
Because Orlando didn't have a clear shot. Instead, it was Smith, who was in the driver's side backseat of the Cadillac, who fired on the BMW driven by Suge Knight with Shakur in the passenger seat. Kathy Scott, a former Las Vegas newspaper reporter who wrote a book about Shakur's murder, says it was well known that Anderson bragged about committing the shooting.
It was Orlando going around telling in Compton, going around, I capped Tupac.
Lee's explanation to the grand jury, according to the transcript, Smith simply allowed Anderson to, quote, get this glory, unquote, at the time because gang culture required Anderson to avenge his beatdown to retain his street credibility.
Metro Police showing this diagram Friday with Orlando Anderson, Davis's nephew, and DeAndre Smith in the back seat. Both are deceased. The gang member saying when he passed the firearm to Orlando didn't have a clear shot. Big Dre is 6'6". At this time, he's 370, 400. He's big. You're not going to reach over like that because shells would have been popping all in Big Dre's face and all kind of stuff. When asked if Smith was the shooter, the gang affiliate told the grand jury he did the shooting.
Dwayne Davis was the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed this crime, and he orchestrated the plan that was carried out.
A member of Shakur's security team saying he saw a, quote, larger size arm fire the shots. That man also telling the grand jury in the moments after the shooting, he approached a wounded Shakur who told him, quote, get on the ground. They're going to shoot you. Shakur wasn't talking about Davis's group, but responding police officers who thought the shooter was among the rapper's entourage.
You're watching the Rundown Podcast. I appreciate everybody for spinning with me. I appreciate all my subscribers for sliding with your boy every time.
All right, man. You know, shout out to OG Jacario, man. Man, you see how deep this get. Now, also, you got to look at it from another standpoint. Man, what if he was even offered an opportunity to beat this murder case and live your life for a couple years till you get old and have to go do time in the past? Down the line. Would you take that type of deal? Let you beat a murder, help you get away with some of the drugs and the money that you had and live a natural life until one day the opportunity is going to come where somebody's going to figure out that they can charge you on this case and you just go take to be the fall man for this situation? Would you take that deal if motherfucker offered you a lot of money and gave you a comfortable lifestyle until you got of age? Let's say until you reach 60. Once you turn 60, we finna refile this case. We finna come get you, and we need you to be the fall man. Dancing with the devil. What if you had an opportunity? You young. You see what I'm saying? We like, hey, we gonna front you some birds, give you a couple $100,000, get you a house, let you live your life. You know what I'm saying? And all of this, help you write books, do podcasts, do what you got to do for approximately a couple years. And then when you reach 60, we coming to get you. We coming to get you, and you're gonna spend the rest of your life in jail without a doubt. But we're gonna give you what you want now. The average person say, shit, nigga, I want heaven on earth. You understand me? Because I do believe Keefe D is ready for whatever. Keefe D is ready. You look at his facial expression. The nigga like, shit, nigga, I'm old now. So you can't get me, nigga. Nigga, I done beat cancer. Nigga, I done beat it all, baby. I'm ready to go to a room, nigga. Shit, fuck these niggas. You know what I'm saying? So when I go, I'm telling on everybody. I do believe that Keefe D is going to tell. Without a doubt, he's going to sing like Jodeci. With that being said, man, I want to thank y'all for pulling up, man. Y'all know how I rock, man. I really put a lot into this shit. I hope I entertained y'all, man. I hope y'all, got some little jokey jokes in and got an insight from my perspective. All I do is give commentary. So with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, man. Y'all throw something to that Cash App, baby, or hit that new membership. You understand me? And I'll see y'all on the next video, gang.